Want to know why my neckline is all stretched out like that? Because I'm wearing a sweater dress and I'm a nursing mom who didn't plan well. Welcome to my first Friday 5. Thank you to the person that suggested that. I like it a lot better than 5 question Friday. That way I can just do 5 of whatever I want instead of questions if we get bored with that at some point. But for now, you guys asked such great questions. I think I'm going to be carrying this on for a while. If there were questions that I'm not able to get to, which of course there's a lot of since I'm only going to do 5 questions, I tried to answer them in the comments on that video that I put up on Monday. There are a couple I didn't answer because I'm hoping that I can use them in future Friday 5 videos. I'm not going to answer your questions here, Louise, because one, it feels kind of unfair for some reason, and two, she already knows most of the answers to those questions because we talk all the time, so she was asking for your benefit, so I answered those questions in the comment section on the Monday video for your benefit, not really for hers, because she already knows that stuff. A lot of you guys asked about my religion, and I was kind of surprised by that, so I'm not going to answer them now, but at some point maybe I'll do a themed Friday 5, and we can just ask and answer, questions about my faith. I'm fine with talking about it. Also, in future Friday 5s, I thought about choosing questions that had the most thumbs up. So if you see a question that you really like, give it a thumbs up, and I can now see, because of one of the YouTube crazy updates, I can see how many thumbs up those comments have, and I'll pick ones that are semi-popular. I might just pick ones I like the best, but I'll try and pick ones that I know a lot of people want answers to, or I'll at least answer those in a typed out comment. Okay, now we jump in. Number 1. Why did you stop being a science teacher if you loved it so much? I'm not saying the commenters' names only because multiple people asked the same question and I don't want to pick one person over another. So a lot of you guys wanted to know that. The simple answer is the company actually dissolved. It was owned by a parent company and they decided to merge 2 programs, one being like a child care program all together. But I was with them for years and years and years and years. I was also working at the preschool at that point, and I just wanted to stay closer to home. The science job, I was traveling a lot because I went to different elementary schools and I went and gave different presentations and assemblies and things. And I just liked, as I was gearing towards having a family, I liked being able to have a regular job that was close to home that I could, go to on a regular schedule rather than being so sporadic on the wild and crazy life of an extracurricular science teacher. But then, after I had my babies, I didn't want to go back to work, so Ryan and I figured out a way for me to be able to stay home full-time. A little sidebar to that is when Ryan and I got married, we both were kind of latchkey kids growing up, and when we got married, we talked about it, and he really wanted to have his kids have a stay-at-home mom for as much time as possible, so we worked that out, how we were going to be able to make sacrifices to do that. So I'm doing what I want to be doing. Number 2, do you remember people who comment often? And yes, I do. I have actually gained some people that I consider to be friends just off of the comments of the YouTube videos. They aren't vloggers. They're just people who left regular comments enough where I start to notice the style of what they're writing. So even if I don't see the username first, just by reading what they wrote, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. And I love that. I love that I actually can know who you guys are. So the people who comment on a lot of videos, or the people who keep the same user pick, that's also really helpful if they don't change it, because I recognize the user pick and then I can put a name to the face, the user pick face, and it starts to feel like I've got my little circle of people in the room with me rather than this vast internet-y thing. Number 3, what song reminds you of meeting Ryan? And some guilty pleasure songs. There's some other questions about music in there. A lot of you guys asked about my favorite music and things. I don't have a favorite genre of music. I like anything that I can move to, dance to, or sing badly to. So if I can do that, whether it's something that's really quality entertainment or like total just, mass-produced pop, I don't care. I love it all. The song that I have that reminds me of meeting Ryan is Bed Shaped by Keen, because before I ever met him actually, but when I was starting to get interested in who is this Ryan guy, I found a video of him. I can't believe he did this because it seems so unlike him now, but he actually uploaded a video of him playing the piano and singing Bed Shaped after he had gone to a Keen concert to MySpace, because that was before the days of Facebook and YouTube and all of that kind of stuff. So I watched it over and over again trying to analyze like who he was as a person, because we had been writing back and forth for a while, and now I know that the room that he filmed that in is actually Scarlett's room. It's the baby's nursery at this point, so that's kind of crazy to think about. I watched that video so many times trying to decide if I thought he was a good singer or a good guy. It had hidden layers for me. Those of you who asked how I met Ryan, there's a video out there of it. Oh, I'll link it below. I'll find it for you and link it below. And as far as my go-to guilty pleasure songs, my first CD that I ever owned was the Clueless soundtrack, and then I also owned like Disney's album greatest hits or whatever you call that, where it was every song from every Disney movie, and I would play those and sing them nonstop. I cleaned the house when my mom was at work and she was coming home. I put it on really loudly, and those are the two CDs I sang all the time. For guilty pleasure songs right now, when I think guilty pleasure, I think that it has to be a cheesy song or a cheesy artist, something that doesn't have a lot of quality or content behind it, and I don't really have that, but there are songs that I like to sing really loudly and really badly, which then turn them into cheesy, contentless songs because I take the meaning out. I just want to sing loudly and I don't care. For instance, I like to sing Regina Spektor, and I think that she has some depth to her music, but when she's singing a hotel song about little bags of cocaine and other girls wearing her dress, boom, 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 all bright and cheery, I don't really care about the content. I don't really want to sing about bags of cocaine, but I like to skip around the house and hop and sing her songs no matter what they're about. In fact, my bridesmaids sang that to me on my wedding day, and I loved it. It was just a fun, happy beat. If you haven't heard that song, you can look it up on YouTube. There's even other people doing happy, perky little, karaoke to it. So look it up. Number 4, the easiest thing about transitioning from 1 to 2 kids. A lot of people asked what the hardest thing was, and I think that those kinds of things can be their own video and go into a whole long answer. But the easiest thing is easier to answer in this short format. And I would say the easiest thing has been bedtime. Luca is an amazing goer to bedder. Just like Scarlett was, I'm so thankful. I can't believe it's happened to me twice, but all I have to do is swaddle him and turn on his little musical glowworm thing and seahorse thing, and he understands that it's wind down time, and he gets really calm because he's been swaddled, and he just takes in the room around him while he's laying in the co-sleeper, and when he's ready, closes his eyes and goes to sleep. So if I'm really beat, I can actually lay him down totally awake, not even drowsy. Oh man, I feel like people want to punch me in the face just for saying this kind of stuff because I know how hard people have it. But he can be totally awake, and he gets that when he's swaddled and the music is on that he just needs to go to sleep after that. And I get a good, 2 or 3 hours before he wakes up and needs to be nursed. And when he nurses at night, he doesn't even open his eyes and goes right back to sleep. I would say 92% of the time. He is a real child. He's not perfect. So, we have our regular issues. But that's been more than I could have ever hoped for. And number 5, a very popular question, I know that one that people are a little irked at me about, is when am I going to do the kids' room tour? I actually have the room entirely ready to do the room tour. I have not been dragging my feet about this one like I have with the labor and delivery story. But I have one product that is still to be delivered that I need to add to the room. I've ordered it. It just needs to get here. I can add it to the room, and then I'm ready to do the room tour. So as soon as that gets here, like the day it gets here, promise you I will be filming it. Those of you that asked about the labor and delivery video, I talked about that last time. Ryan really wants to be available to film it with me, and he works 3 jobs, you guys. Remember how I said he wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom? He works really hard to be able to make that happen for our family, and he also coaches a basketball team because he loves it, so he's a very busy man. I've given him an ultimatum and said that if he is not available to do it in 1 more week, then I need to film it by myself because I just can't make you guys wait the whole life of this child, but he really wants to be a part of it, so we're going to try it again. I do have the blooper reel from when we, okay, here's the deal. This is the deal. I already filmed our labor and delivery video. There is one chunk of that the file is corrupt or whatever where it will not load into my editing software, so the entire story does not make sense because of that. But I have all these like outtake clips that I could pick and pull from and just put up as a video as like a teaser if you guys want before that, or is that mean? I could wait until we film the labor and delivery video and then upload the bloopers later. So that it's not just like, Marie, what is this? Tell us the story. Don't give us a whole bunch of nonsense, random clips around the story, because that could be frustrating. Thanks, this was so much fun talking to you guys. Remember, I do want to do these every week, so you can ask me more questions in the comments. Please remember that I want to keep them relatively short. If it can be answered in under 30 seconds, then that's perfect. Anything from the serious to the silly, and if I'm not going to answer it in a video, I will try my hardest to answer it in the comments. And there is a reason why I'm avoiding Louise questions. I think she delivers? She deserves her own little place, her own little video spot, so I'm not going to answer it in these Friday Fives. Maybe I'll do one just dedicated to my Louisey love. I have a lot of love for that Louisey girl. Yep, that's it. Also, remember my 50 Things You Don't Know About Me video, in which I do this, I think, in that video, answers a lot of the questions as well, so you can check that out. This was so much fun! I'll see you next Friday. Bye. P.S. All of you who asked about my flawless skin, perfect teeth, and makeup, y'all be crazy. It's a bad camera and it does amazing things for the skin. My teeth are crooked. Look at, they're crooked. Nothing's great. Nothing is as it seems.